Hello! You already save a lot of money every year thanks to our videos, so save on car parts too. Buy them on the Mr. Auto app. Shipping is free!
You will find the bulk inner and outer tie rods used in the video exclusively on the Mr. Auto website and through the link in the description. Turn your engine off and pull up the handbrake. To be able to change the inner and outer tie rod on your vehicle, you must lift the front of the car and remove the wheels to gain complete access to the steering system. Loosen the stud bolts on the front wheels. Raise the front of the vehicle and put it in the 2-axle stands. We strongly suggest watching the tutorial raising your vehicle safely before carrying out this step. You will then be able to take off the wheels. Don't forget to slide them under the vehicle. You can now see the outer tie rod end. These elements can often get jammed, so use a penetrating oil to facilitate the operation. With a marker, trace a line between the axle joint and the tie rod end. It will help later during the disassembly and reassembly process. Using an adjustable spanner, release the holding nut on the tie rod end. Using a socket wrench and a 17mm socket, release the holding nut on the tie rod end. If you don't have a ball joint puller, take a hammer and hit the lock nut hard just at the end of the threading. The ball joint should move away from the pivot. Paying close attention to the point of reference, unscrew the tie rod end, counting the number of turns necessary to extract the tie rod end. This will be needed during the reassembly process to get as close as possible to the original settings. Using calipers, measure the distance between the lock nut and the end of the tie rod axle joint. Remove the locking ring nut on the tie rod. With pliers, remove the metallic clip on the protective sleeve for the tie rod axle joint. With pliers or a saw blade, remove the metallic clamping clip on the protective sleeve covering the tie rod axle joint. With a cutter, cut the external part of the sleeve so that you can remove it. Remove the sleeve. Using a tie rod iron or extractor, a specific tool for carrying out this job, you can now loosen everything without difficulty. To do this, insert the tool up to the fixed part of the tie rod, then, with a socket wrench and a long extender, force it in an anti-clockwise direction. Remove the tool, then finish removal by hand.
Please support us, subscribe and like the video, that will be really cool.
Take the new tie rod axle joint. Grease the threading on the new part. Then put it in the steering cog housing. Still using the same tool or using an adjustable spanner, if the new part is fitted with print, block the tie rod axle joint, but in the clockwise direction this time. Finish off the tightening with a torque wrench. Then remove the tool. Take the new sleeve. Put the internal clip back on. Then put the protective sleeve back on. We recommend putting screw clips on, as access is really rather difficult when trying to use a specific tool. Tighten the ring, taking care not to force the movement or to cut the ring. Put the external clip back on. Take the new tie rod end and unscrew the lock nut supplied with it. Screw the lock nut back on until the distance measured with the caliper is reached. Or put the tie rod end back in place, making the same number of turns as counted during disassembly. Put the tie rod end into the pivot. Assemble the lock nut provided with a new part, putting pressure on the ball joint, tighten it using a socket wrench and an adjustable spanner. Finish off the tightening with a torque wrench. Lock the lock nut under the tie rod end using adjustable pliers. Then you will be able to put the wheels back on your vehicle putting it back on the ground before properly fixing them in place. During this operation, you will work on the steering system of your vehicle. Checks on tyre alignment, when carried out by a professional, will guarantee that your steering system has been perfectly aligned and is in good working order. Operation completed.
Hello, if this video helps you, like and subscribe.